Point spreads are some of the most popular things to bet on in the sports betting world, but on the surface, they can be a little bit confusing if you don't quite understand what they mean. In this video, I'm going to explain to you exactly what a point spread bet is and how you can bet on it. Point spreads are some of the most entertaining things to bet on. The idea behind the point spread is that it eliminates a favorite in the matchup and ensures both teams have an equal opportunity to win the bet. How point spreads work is that the favorite team needs to win the game by a certain amount of points in order to win against the spread, and the underdog in the matchup must not lose by a certain amount of points or could outright win the match in order to win against the spread. In a matchup where there is going to be a clear favorite, the moneyline odds are going to reflect accordingly, and the moneyline odds for the favorite are going to be pretty low, and people might not see a lot of value in taking that bet. And conversely, if you look at the underdog in a matchup where there is that one clear favorite, the underdog, sure, the odds for that are going to be great for the money line odds. You can see them at a plus 300, plus 400, but that team is so unlikely to win that you also may not see a lot of value in taking that bet. This is the beauty of the point spread. Let's take a hypothetical matchup between the New England Patriots and the New York Jets, in a matchup where the Patriots are expected to easily win. The Patriots in this matchup could have a spread of -7 with minus 110 odds, and the New York Jets in this matchup could have a spread of +7 with minus 110 odds. For both of the teams, it is minus 110 odds, therefore you would have to wager $110 in order to win $100. But now we have taken a matchup where the Patriots were heavy favorites, and we have found a way to even the odds on both sides. For the Patriots to win this bet, they would have to win the game by 8 points or more because their spread is -7. The New York Jets in this situation, to win the bet at +7, would have to lose the game by 6 points or less, or could just win the match, or the match could end in a tie. The Patriots could also win this game by exactly 7 points, and in that situation, the bet would be a push, and you would be completely refunded the initial stake of your bet. Why are both lines set at -110 and not +100? This is what is called a juice or a vig, and it is extremely common in the sports betting world. Let's say a sportsbook were to set both sides of the spread at +100 odds. That means whichever side you bet on, you would have to bet $100 in order to make $100. You would be doubling your money. If sportsbooks were to do this, they would not render any real profitability in the long run. This is why they set games at -110 odds. You'd have to wager $110 in order to win $100. Usually, sportsbooks set their prices so that half of the bettors are on each side of the bet. Therefore, no matter what, they are going to see profitability, a much higher percentage of profitability in the long run. As a sports bettor, you might think that's unfair, but this is how sports betting sites operate and how they render profitability. However, with the juice or a vig at -110, you can find that other sports books have a better price. This is why line shopping is vital in order to maximize the value of your bet. Can you bet on point spreads for any part of the game? Absolutely. What we've covered in this video has been on full game action. So the result at the end of the match is what is in relation to your bet either winning, losing, or pushing. But you can bet on any other part of the game as well other than full time. You can bet on a specific quarter, a specific half, a specific period, any part of the game. Why does the point spread change? The point spread, like any other bet you can make, changes constantly in the days, hours, even minutes leading up to a specific matchup. All of the factors surrounding the match will have an effect on the point spread, and sportsbooks will adjust accordingly. If there is an injury leading up to the game, or if we find out that a player is resting leading up to the game, the sportsbooks are going to understand that and change their spreads as a result. You can also bet on a point spread live during the game, where each play is going to have an effect on the spread and sportsbooks will react accordingly. It is important to note, however, that once you place that bet, you are locked into those odds and you are locked into that spread no matter what happens. So if an event significantly changes the spread, you're still locked in for the better or for the worse. What do point spreads look like in other sports? In basketball, much like football, usually they will find a spread that will give both teams an equal opportunity in theory to cover the spread. In baseball and in hockey, where there's not as many points scored, usually the spread is going to be set at 1.5. In hockey, this is called the puck line. In baseball, this is called the run line. It is important to note that unlike basketball and football, where typically the odds that both teams will cover the spread are even, for baseball and hockey, because it's always a 1.5 spread, typically you will see a variety of different odds. Line shopping is once again vital in this situation. Is it smart to bet on point spreads? Like any other sports bet, it's all about how you bet. Point spreads are some of the most popular things to bet on in the sports betting world, and there is certainly a ton of value in making a wager. It is important to note, however, that different sports books are always going to have different prices on the odds, and also they could have different prices on the spread. So you could find different prices for odds, like the juice or vig could be -110, -115, -105, but you can also find different spreads. Let's take our New England Patriots example for a second. One site could have the Patriots at -7 odds. Another site could have them at -8 odds. It's important to line shop to find the best possible value for your bet, and the BetStamp app makes it very easy to do so. BetStamp will automatically tell you which sportsbook is offering the best price for that bet completely for free. When you're making a sports wager, you need to be using BetStamp.